seeing the insides of your head, it's something out of a horror movie.
I had no idea what was happening. You didn't know who this person was that you were morphing into, that was taking over you.
So I thought, okay, don't panic. But of course you do panic. It's a natural reaction.
Everyone assumes I've been blown up. Everyone that sees me. You know, people come up and say, Afghanistan? And I'll say, no, common cold.
If I got a reflection of my face in a shop window, it was like a kick in the teeth, you know, that I did look different.
As a black girl living in white skin, people did treat me differently.
When I looked in the mirror, I had mucus running from my forehead all the way down, just dripping. Wow, this is not my face. This is not my face.
There was no one to blame. It was pure fluke that I caught, the disease that I caught. Where the strep had started from my extremities, it took the end of my nose off and it took all the way around my mouth. And it looked like it. My little boy described it as I had chocolate spread just smeared all over my face. But sadly, it killed off all the skin. From a vanity point of view, I was desperate to have the surgery to get my face and my lips back. I automatically assumed, despite going through masses of surgery, that I would come out looking just like I used to look, which was completely misguided. I remember looking in the mirror for the first time and I was thinking, Jesus, what has gone on there?
The opening line of my adoption report says, both parents felt no maternal bond for the child and discharged themselves 36 hours later. There's that saying that, oh, he's got a face that only his mother could love. And my mother couldn't love me is, yeah, it's hard. I can't stop thinking about my mum's reaction of when she first saw me. She must have been so frightened. You know, they were expecting it to be one of the happiest days of their lives. And all of a sudden they see me and there's that shock. I was born with Treacher Collins. I don't have any cheekbones, so that's why my eyes go downwards. My ears haven't developed properly. I call them my little Bart Simpson ears. So I have to wear a hearing aid. And for me, that's about it. So my mum, she was in her 40s when she started fostering me. She's incredible. She's not even 5 foot. She's tiny, but she's just got the biggest heart, and she's just got the most love to give. She's just an incredible woman. I'd hate to think where I'd be without her. You know, I'm very, very lucky, I am.
I'm hyper aware of people staring at me. I wouldn't say that I'm a little bit paranoid, but I just know in the back of my mind I'm always thinking, oh, are they noticing that I look a bit different? When you're being stared at, it feels like you're under a microscope. It sounds so cliche, but that is exactly how it feels. I was on a bus once on my way to a shopping centre, and there was a woman who just would not stop staring. I remember the woman saying, "You're quite a different looking lass, aren't you?" People still sort of call other people out like that. It just sort of made me stop and take a step back. We generally tend to stare at things that stand out. In a way, it's like spot the difference, but with people.
Well, the vitiligo started around my eyes when I was about sort of 10 or 11. It spread to more of my face than anything else. On my hands, on my feet and on my knees. And everything spread outward from there. I don't really remember who spoke to me first about my vitiligo, but I think it was my mum. She didn't know what to think of it at first, and I don't blame her. It's a difficult thing for any parent to have to deal with, I think. Their child looking different. I think a parent always struggles with wondering what happens when they're not around. So going through school, being around my friends, going to parties. I think she struggled with it. She was the first one who suggested that I colour my white hair black. She was trained as a beautician, so that always helped. But she tinted my eyebrows and my eyelashes as well, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it, but I think she got quite upset. I think me having vitiligo upset her quite a bit.
From very young, like, I would play with my mum's lipstick, and I would always do things like look at magazines and fashion. I love Beyonce. I was always watching MTV. And she just exudes so much femininity, and I think my physical appearance is always something I've taken pride in. I think anybody that meets me kind of sees that straight away, like, oh, okay. On the 29th of December, my life changed. Someone basically just snatched my face. Just like that. Somebody threw acid at me, and that person was somebody I had trusted for almost 10 years.
I'd been suffering with what was a watery eye. One morning I get a phone call, and it was the hospital saying that the specialist would like to see you today. He was quite outright and said, "You've got a tumour growing inside you." Complete shock. I've got cancer. That's not the kind of thing that you want to tell your loved ones over the phone. It's a face-to-face job. I got home, and she said, "Well, how did it go?" "It's bad news." And she said, "What kind of bad news?" I said, "I've got cancer. Oh, I think I've got cancer." And she said, "You can't have cancer. I'm pregnant." And it was at that moment, you know, it was a complete car crash.
I remember going home. I saw someone in a black, niqab, all black. And I remember looking on my left, and I remember something jumped within me. And I looked and I thought, what is that? And I remember just feeling a cold stare. And I remember thinking, oh, maybe I'm staring, maybe I'm staring, so let me just turn away and go home. Maybe I'm being rude. And as I turned my head, I felt a splash. I heard a liquid being thrown from maybe what was a glass, I don't know, a tumbler or something. I could hear when you water, you can hear the kind of that kind of a splash. And somebody had thrown something that was burning me on me. And I remember screaming on the phone to my boyfriend at the time, saying, "Call 999, call 999. And I ran. I remember I did not drop anything. I didn't even want to look back to see what that was. I was just like, I need to reach the front of my door. And as I was banging the door, and I started shouting, I said, "It's burning, it's burning, it's burning. Acid, acid, acid." And Who opened the door? My mum. And as she opened the door, I saw her face just... Thankfully, my godmother was there, and she's a pharmacist. And she was like, get upstairs, get upstairs. We're gonna have to, you know, wash you, like, get upstairs. And I remember hysterically just shouting and just screaming and saying, am I ugly, am I ugly, am I ugly? Like, I even screamed at my little cousin. I was like, don't lie to me, like, am I ugly? And she was like, no, 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 no. And I remember looking in the mirror. When I looked in the mirror, there was literally mucus running all over my face. My face was purple, blue, and I had mucus running from my forehead all the way down, mucus from my nose just dripping. And as I was in the ambulance, they had to, you know, they asked me who I wanted to come, and I said, I want my godmother to come. I didn't want my mum to see me like that. I don't think I'd have been able to hack it.
My image was girl next door. I was the girl next door that did all right for herself, and for whatever reason, people wanted to take pictures of me. I was small, I had long blonde hair, massive eyes with big boobs. I just thought I was a normal-looking girl that was surrounded by makeup people. Early 30s, I met my now ex-husband on Top of the Pops. It was a bit of a whirlwind, got married, got pregnant very quickly, and I had my daughter, so yeah, everything changed then. We were married for a few years, but just difference in things we wanted to do, I reckon. Things were a bit stressful, and then just didn't work out. I was working away a lot. UK, America, UK, America. I was backwards, forwards, a lot of traveling. I was getting a bit stressed, and I noticed when I went to the gym, I had a couple of, like, about that big patches at the back of my head where I had no hair. So I thought, okay, don't panic. But of course you do panic. It's a natural reaction. And then I had another one. Then I had another one. And my boyfriend at the time, he was working with me. He was the cameraman. And I was having a shower. And I was like, God, you know, the plumbing's terrible in this hotel. I said, the water's up to my ankles. And I looked down and it was my hair had blocked the plug hole. I was like, oh my God. And it was coming out like this. Just handfuls and handfuls. And my boyfriend was like, I went through to the bedroom and he was pulling it out of his mouth. It was all over the pillows. And I looked in the mirror and it was just, there was practically nothing there. It was that quick. I think within 10 days, the eyebrows were coming off, the eyelashes were in my hand, and I was like, shit, this is real. Phoned my ex-husband, said, you know, when I come home, I have got no hair. He's like, what's wrong with you? It's not even funny. I said, it's not funny. I've got no hair. I left with hair, and my daughter saw me with hair, and I'm coming back with nothing. I said, you're gonna have to prepare her.
I think I was just a laid-back bloke. But I think I probably was vain. You know, I've always made sure that my hair was in a certain way. Every time I went out the door, you'd always notice if, you know, it was a bit blowy and it was a bit out of place, you'd do something about it. I think it was middle of November, 2013. And I just had a bit of man flu, that's what we thought. And it just got gradually worse and worse and worse. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I had like full-blown flu. And about 2 weeks after contracting the cold, I went to the loo in the middle of the night and I passed blood in my urine. So with that, I went back into the bedroom and I said, Luce, look, I'm really not good, you know, there's blood in my urine. I was really lucid and a bit out of it. I couldn't get myself dressed. There were purple blotches appearing on my skin, and she could see that I was just all over the place. So she rang 999 and they sent an ambulance out. And then I can recall being put in the back of the ambulance and them saying to Lucy, look, we need to shave, I think, 8 or 10 minutes off the journey time because he really is, he's slipping out of consciousness and he's really unwell. And then I got to Winchester And then I was just rushed into intensive care and on life support.
I was born in Zimbabwe, one of 4 girls. A lot of people think I am white, or they can see that I am not white, but then they're a bit confused by the white skin. So you can I can read people when they meet me, first of all, and I can see them sort of being like, what are you? When people see me with my parents, I remember one person asked if I was adopted, as I have black features on white skin. I guess a wider nose, bigger lips. I remember feeling quite lonely, feeling like I was very different to everyone else and I sort of didn't really fit in. It sort of led me to just become too concerned about the way that I appeared, and then I'd start picking away at certain things that I didn't like. Started experimenting a lot with makeup, so I'd try and do sort of this wild eyeliner and stuff like that. Experimenting with lipstick, drawing on my eyebrows, hair. Sometimes cover it up, sometimes accentuate it. Just trying to find a version of myself that I quite liked.
They laid it on the line. They said it is a serious cancer, it's a stage 4 tumour. And the only way to save you and your life is to remove your eye as well. Sue's now in absolute pieces. And we went up to London to have the surgery, and it was like waiting for a death sentence that morning, waiting for your name to be called. I saw a reflection of myself in a mirror, and I thought, this is the last time I'm going to see myself with my own 2 eyes. Eventually, I did come out of surgery, and after getting over the initial blurriness of what happened, I reached up and I could feel the bandages all the way around my face. It was done. You know, my life has now been changed forever. After the bandages had kind of come loose, I thought I should really sneak a peek. There it was. I looked myself in the mirror, and where my eye once was, it's almost like it was airbrushed out.
They call it the flesh-eating bug. Strep A, it kills off the flesh, and what it's trying to do with the strep, it's trying to get to your heart to kill you. So it is trying to take your life. They were trying to control it, but it was just getting quicker and quicker and quicker. So the left arm came off first, and then I think both of my legs came off above the knee, and then they worked on my right arm. I lost my septum as well in the middle of my nose. I remember my other half going home and telling our best mate that I'd lost my scrotum. And I remember them coming back in the following day giggling, and I thought, what's so funny? And Lucy's like, I've just gone home and told everyone that you're losing your scrotum. And I was like, for God's sake, it's my septum, not my scrotum.
It's crazy how one individual can be so powerful over another human being. You know, just with the words. Just words are so powerful, and actions are so powerful, and you can say something to somebody that can cut so deep that it'll hurt them for the rest of their life. I was at that age where, you know, I wanted a girlfriend, but they weren't interested. But this girl, she got her friends to ask me out, and I was like, yeah. We were meeting at 7 o'clock. 7:15, no show. And then I'm thinking, maybe she's changed her mind, what have you. And then all of a sudden she appears around a fence. All her other friends come round the corner as well, and they all start laughing. And she's like, you actually turned up. You actually think I'd want to go out with you? I don't know why anybody would do anything like that. There's something about girls that can be so malicious. So it felt so planned, it felt so... I don't know what made her do that, or I don't know. And all I could think about in that situation was my mum. I can't go home, so I just sat on this cricket field, just with that attitude of feeling sorry for myself, you know. Why did I have to look like this? Why me? I hated my face, you know, even just walking down the street, if I got a reflection of my face in a shop window, you know, it was like a reality check that I was ugly. It was like a kick in the teeth, you know, that I did look different. And I didn't like what I saw looking back. You know, the older kids made my life hell. The comments were, oh, you were born on Halloween, and that's why you look like you do, and all the jokes that go on side with that. I spoke to my mum and asked her why, and my mum just cried, and she didn't know what to say to me, and she went on to these, you're beautiful, you're special, don't let anybody tell you any different. But the more I heard the jokes, you know, the less I believed my mum. So as I got older, you know, I thought, you know, I want to change that. I don't want people laughing at me anymore. And I used to buy as many sweets as I could. And then at break time, I'd just I'd open my bag and I'd just hand out everything. And for those few moments, everybody just came round going through my bag. You know, I felt so special and so accepted, so liked. But once my bag had gone and they'd all gone, you know, that's when the loneliness kicked in.
I've always been made to feel different. Since having the vitiligo, I have been someone that looks strange. There were points where I would just sort of sit and look at myself in the mirror, and I'd notice so many more patches that had lost their color. It's strange having this thing that you can't control, because you didn't know who this person was that you were kind of morphing into, that was taking over you. I did hate it. I think I had my first minor panic attack when I was 16 or 17. And I had no idea what was happening. I thought I was having a heart attack first. My fingers went numb, my toes went numb. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. You can feel people's eyes on you. And you feel nervous, and then their eyes on you start to feel hot. Next thing you know, you're out of breath, you're sweating uncontrollably, and you can't really control your heart rate. It's difficult to deal with. I mean, everyone's had some kind of suicidal thought at some point in their life. There was a period that I didn't think I'd make it through. It's not something that I'm proud of, but it's something that I've felt.
During my younger years, I was a lot more unhappy just because of the fact that was when I sort of realised I was different to other people. I was about in my mid-teens, about 15 or 16. And there were these two boys who were playing on their bikes. They were just circling around the bus stop. And then one of them sort of pointed and looked over. And then the other one came up on his bike and he sort of started doing circles around going, "Albino, albino," and like pointing and jeering. And I remember feeling quite trapped. People struggle with difference because if the difference is something they're not used to or something they've never come across, then they fear it. I do remember thinking to myself, oh, I just wish I was normal. I wish I was like everybody else, just so that I could go about life just in a normal way.
I remember the nurses covering the mirrors with bed sheets because they didn't want me to see. And at the time I just thought, what's the point? I can't really see anyway because my eyes are not opening. I would try and like see if I could see myself in the phone. And I remember when I saw myself, I was like, wow. Wow. This is not my face. This is not my face. I look like something out of a horror film. And literally I didn't have eyelids. And I didn't realize I didn't have my eyelids at the time. I didn't realize, I just remember my eyelids being so open and so sore. And they were burning, my eyelids were burning. My eyes were burning because I didn't have eyelids to cover my eyes. So they were just so open and exposed. I remember just standing there weeping. Like, you know, as girls, we can be emotional and we cry. Those were not tears, that was weeping. Like, then I understand the meaning to weep. Like, cry, like you're grieving, crying, weeping. Because I just felt like somebody had tried to take me away from myself. Like, somebody had tried to, at that very moment, wanted to destroy me.
I had all this anger inside me. I didn't know what to do with it. I became a bad lad at school. I played up, I answered teachers back, and I would do anything to try and make somebody laugh, or to try and take the attention away from my face, and I did. I got into a lot of trouble. In my teenage years, I drank a lot. Under the influence of alcohol, I got up to some bad things. I had issues with fire. I was so stupid. And I don't even know why I did it. There were dark times. I used to sit in my room thinking about my face with this Stanley knife. And I used to think, you know, would anybody miss me if I weren't here right now? And it were moments like that when I started to think, what I'm going through, I need to keep to myself. You know, I don't want to cause my mum any more pain, so this is my face, this is my problem, and I hid things from her.
It was devastating. Sue and I, we'd spend weeks just crying and hugging and, you know, she's pregnant. She's struggling. We're both struggling. I gave up on trying to look normal again. I just embraced the fact that I'm never going to look normal again. So I wear an eye patch. And for me, that helps me cope with facing the world again. And as much as strangers might say, pirate or R, you know, I wear this because I need to, because that's my comfort zone, that's how I feel safe in the world. Because this is kind of what I have to live with now for the rest of my life. I'd never say I was the best looking guy when I was younger, but now this is me. Obviously, I've got no eyelids, I've barely got an eyebrow. It was one big hole. So much so that you can look straight away down the back of the throat. It's quite a graphic thing.
I remember looking in the mirror for the first time and I just couldn't see me looking back at me. You know, I'm looking at this shadow of my former self, and I'm thinking, Jesus, what has gone on there? And I think for a period after that, I'm thinking, God, all my friends are seeing that, all my family's seeing that, Lucy's seeing that, my little boy's seeing that. I've always assumed that losing my legs and arms was way more important than surgery on my mouth. I spoke to my surgeon, and she said, throughout all your amputation and the surgery that you've had, through all the guys who she's worked on through injury of war, facial surgery is by far the most psychologically harming. I had this enormous flap of skin in front of me with a weird sort of witch's hat sticking out the corner of my chin. And it freaked me out. Thoughts were whirling around my mind, thinking, God, you look awful. What is it, is it gonna take? Is that gonna be it? Is there more surgery to come? I just didn't know what the hell had gone on. It wasn't about feeling sorry for me. It was more about how was I gonna be as a father when I got out? It was always to do with either Lucy or Sam that I'd get upset. Not seeing my little boy was hard. I think that was the hardest part of the whole thing, is that I couldn't see him straight away because the physical difference was just immense. You know, he was gonna come in and see an unrecognisable figure in front of him that's his dad. That was frightening. That was a real tough time.
I got on a flight back to London and cried the whole way back because all I could think about was how was my daughter going to react. And she saw me and thought I was cool. Got a massive cuddle and she carried on as if nothing had happened. It was just like, where's the hair? I was like, it fell out. She's gone, okay. And then carried on. Where my hair fell out, I didn't feel very feminine, I'll have to be honest with you. I felt a little bit like I'd been rubbed out. I felt like someone had taken an eraser and just started from the top and just gone ch-ch-ch. I'd have bad days where I'd cry thinking, okay, is this going to affect my love life? Do I have to go for a specific kind of website, like Baldies R Us or something, for people that have got bald fetishes? Or is someone just going to maybe fall in love with me for me?
They have to find who did this to me. Even if my face is never going to be the same, just let me have that little bit of sanity. They have to find who did this to me. I started to become very paranoid. I started to become very worried. I can't be myself. I don't even look like myself. And I'm going through all these things mentally. I'm every day trying to hold myself together. There's times where I felt like I've wanted to commit suicide. There's times where I thought about it. But I know if I was to do that, that would basically be my mum wanting to, I'm her only child. What do you live for apart from the people that you love? We live for the people that we love. We live for the people that love us, basically. When the police came and they sat me down and they said to me, Mary's not the friend that you think she is. And I was like, oh, what? So basically she had something to do with it then? They were like, no, you don't understand. She was the one in the niqab. And I was like, why would she do that to me? Why would she do that to me? Like, I thought she was my friend. Like, I thought we were friends. Court cases are traumatizing. They are traumatizing. I was there the day they said she was guilty. She got 12 years.
I ended up working in a bar in my 20s, and the first few nights I had to leave halfway through. I found it so humiliating. People that were drunk, you know, they were unable to order their drinks because they were laughing at me. And one night, there's this huge mountain of a man leant over the bar with his 20. He had muscles coming out, and muscles that I didn't even know existed. Head to toe in tattoos, piercings, skinhead. I'm praying that somebody else serves him before I do. Nobody gets to him, so it's down to me. So I'm like, "Oh mate, what do you want to drink?" And he was like, "Hold up, what's up with your face?" So I was born like this. And he was like, "Oh, you know, is that a hearing aid in your head?" And I was like, "You know, I can't hear without it." And he was like, "Oh, dude, you're lucky." I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, I've got a wife at home, and all she does is talks at me 24/7. And if I was deaf, or if I had a hearing aid, I wouldn't have to listen to her, right?" And he shook my hand, he bought me a drink. But the big thing was that I'd gotten him so wrong. And if I'd gotten him so wrong, who else had I gotten wrong? It wasn't my face that there was a problem, it was my attitude. And he really, really made me realise that, you know. My confidence was steadily growing, and a girl called Beth started working in the bar. I thought she was the coolest chick ever. And one night, she asked me out. I'm thinking, you know, this ain't right. You know, you must be joking. You must be having me on. And I was like, "Why?" And she was just, again, just that honesty, that bluntness. She was just like, "I can't stop staring at you. I love your face." And I went from feeling ugly to thinking I was like Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp, David Beckham, all rolled into one. I'm thinking I'm something special. And yeah, that was the first time, apart from my mum, that somebody told me I was beautiful.
In the early stages, the biggest concern for me really was Sam's acceptance of me, because obviously right at the beginning I looked completely alien to me, let alone to a 3.5-year-old boy. And I was kind of panicky about that, but he kind of just allayed my fears. I think it took one critical moment when I was lying in intensive care and he hadn't really come near me beforehand, and it was Christmas Day, and he fed me Wotsits. And it was at that moment that I realised, you know what, that barrier, he's broken the barrier. I kind of looked and I felt that he had accepted it. And that then put my mind at rest for the rest of what was going to happen. I've always maintained this is the best thing, one of the best things that's happened to me. My relationship with Sam is fantastic. Our relationship's brilliant. And I love him more and more every day. He's been a phenomenal child to handle it the way he has as well. You always know that you know, if you're in love with someone, you know, what is love? You don't really know. It's an emotion. You think you're, you know, madly in love with someone, but maybe you're not. How do you know? Until it's really tested, like Lucy was and I was at the time. You know, how we've come through that and how we've ended up stronger as a couple is phenomenal.
You can never really fully be in control of the vitiligo. But I own my vitiligo. This is who I am. As much as dealing with it initially was a hard part of my life, I wouldn't change it for anything now. It's completely changed me. But it's a good thing. The girl that I'm with now, I've known for a few years. She loves it, and she keeps telling me how cool she thinks it is, but I've never got that. I've never understood why, because I've always had it. It's such a calming feeling knowing that someone can accept you for the way you look, even though so many people never did.
I must admit, when I lost my hair, my mum at first used to do this, so cover my forehead with her hand, and she'd go, "Oh, there you go, there's my Gail." That upset me. was like, Mum, I'm still your daughter. I just look a bit different. She's going, I know, but I prefer it. Could you put a hat on? I was like, no. She used to send me hats all the time. I could have worn a wig. I didn't want to wear a wig because I know who I am. People that love me and my family, they know who I am. So I don't want to pretend to be something I'm not, just so that I don't offend anyone. You know, everyone has bad days, but I'm quite, at the moment, because of Honey, I'm just happy. She loves me, and she looks at me for everything I am, so I'm fine. Anyone can say anything they like to me. My daughter thinks I'm cool. I'm fine.
I've had somewhere in the region about 20 surgeries now, of different sorts, all of which has taken its toll, and a new scar here or a new scar there. I've given up worrying about it now. Sometimes I feel like Harvey Two-Face out of Batman. You know, he's one side is fine and the other not quite so fine. When I look at myself now and I see myself in the mirror, I see myself as a completely changed person. There's nothing about me that reminds me of the way I used to look. But that's not to say that it is a bad thing. In a funny sort of way, what's happened to me has given me many more opportunities. I feel I am more appreciative of life in general, of the small things, like spending more time with the family. For what has happened to me, I like to think that I can turn it into a positive.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I don't know, I think if you think you're beautiful, then you are. It's as simple as that. It's not about what other people think. I am very proud of my albinism. It's something that it doesn't define me, but it makes me.
This tattoo, on the inside, it says, "And then along came an angel." And these angels are dedicated to people that have had a massive impact on my life. I haven't always thought of this, but you know, I'm actually kind of lucky that I have Treacher Collins, in the sense that I love who I am and I embrace all that I am and I'm at peace with who I am, and yeah, it's a bit mad how things work out, you know?
I learned to grow, blossom, literally. I want to blossom. I want to get to a stage where not actually give a toss what anybody thinks about me or my scars. I'm learning how to accept, you know, my scars and understand that this is proof of what I've been through. I remember initially, like, in the hospital when my face was swollen and all burnt and everything, and the nurses kept saying, you know what, Naomi, it's not the looks, it's, you know, it's what's inside that counts. And I was just like, oh, why would you say that to me? Like, typical, like, to say that to me right now. I just think, oh, shut up. Like, you can't just say that to me. But as I started getting on, I actually realized that, yeah, like, it has nothing to do with the outside. It's who you are as a person. That's what makes you beautiful.